All right. There he is, live, on time, on point, coming free of charge. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 217th edition. I'm going to put that in your head for just a second, MC. The 217th weekly edition of this long time coming, high anticipated, never duplicate, upscale, unappreciated, enough about you program. The only program that features the Nickel Standard, Penny Compensated Talents, William Bishop, Blake Edwards, Stable Full, mediator, moderators, third round draft pick, name later, three people, two attempts, one dream, broadcasting's finest train wreck. Enough About You podcast is a podcast available, or a Corian Media presentation available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Anchor FM, and available from every coast to every coast. And now here he is. He is the Oracle of Ireland. He is my guest host today. He's my longtime friend. We've known each other for 4.5 years, and he's got a brain full of fantastic ideas. Mr. MCGamesDotNet. What's up, man?
Hello, everybody. How are you, Clem?
I'm good, man. Thank you for doing this, and thanks for being a part of it. It has been forever since you and I have caught up. First off, how are you doing, man? How is your stream going, and all of that? You should know that MC started off in Ireland, and he made a multi-country country move, an expatriate move to Germany, where he's been for some time, and it's a big life change, right? To uproot and do all that out of his home country of Ireland and into Germany, and it's been a crazy ride. So catch me up and catch up all the viewers on how that works and how you've been doing.
Well, the stream has been doing very well, especially with the current state that we're in. I think cheap media, aka Twitch streaming, or free media or free entertainment like Twitch and YouTube, is the best place for entertainment during these times.
Yep.
Like in the most recent months, we've had very good streaming, very good growth in our streams as well. And then in terms of overall, I started off trying to juggle two jobs. I was juggling my main job, and I was juggling, of course, streaming as well. And then when I started to move into going full time, I decided to uproot, as you said, and go to a different country, because it was a lot cheaper to run a streaming business from a different location or a different country. It's a lot cheaper in Germany. And ever since I moved to Germany, obviously I took a big financial hit when I moved here, but everything has been going great. We've been doing very well. We have a very wonderful office, and I've been upgrading my technology a little bit. I have a brand new computer. I have a good setup. So things are looking up roses. And as I say to everybody, if you make hay while the sun shines, so the sun has been shining over the streaming world during the Corona lockdowns, and I'm hoping that any people that we met over that time will be able to keep on, and we'll be able to continue to hang out with them every single day. It's been absolutely great. What about you? How's Corona affected you over in the States?
It's crazy. So how about this? I'm gonna crank. I'm gonna see if I can amplify you. Hang on, let me fix the volume real quick. I do. Can you send me about 10% more of you?
Yeah, you want me to turn me up? Yeah.
Yeah, turn yourself. That would help me, because I'm kind of locked in where I am. Just turn yourself up 10% more, and send it a little bit more to me. That would help. All right. So for us, it has been nuts. There is. We talked about this last time. Is that the states are? It is the central place where you will find the type of people that will never be told what to do.
Yeah, of course.
And so they will never be told what to do. In a place like, say, not to generalize, but Sweden, they have a very uniform culture, very homogenous culture, and kind of very much more socially minded and more of a togetherness. I think it has something, we talk about this all the time. The colder a place is, the more community driven they are, because survival is kind of a thing with them, where if you are dependent on each other to survive, you're going to, because the conditions are so brutal, and the conditions in Sweden in winters are just brutal, and so you're driven to be close together and kind of more centrally minded, kind of central society minded. Somewhere like Sweden is the government will put out some either rules or mostly they'll just have to do guidelines, and they'll say, okay, social distancing, let's do this thing. Well, here's our situation, and everyone will, and for the most part, a homogenous culture will go, let's do it. It's a great idea, and they just kind of execute. And the states,
similar in Germany,
and the Germany too, and the states. Oh man, you will get a wide range of. There is an extreme, a portion of the population that will take that and go, they're right. We have to make all the laws and the lockdown and make it completely watertight and force everybody to uber alle obey these things. And then there's the other extreme is you don't ever tell me what to do, and here's my guns, come take it. And then there's the middle, whereas everyone's going, well, let's compromise, and somewhere between let's not have government overreach, and somewhere between, hey, let's put some stuff in place because this thing is real. There is a middle ground that you can do somewhere, and then there's the sane people who are saying, let's kind of just let's make a mix of what science is telling us. Let's blend in some data that other countries do right, because what we saw in Italy in March was horrific, right? Italy was the first country in the West to get hit, and then to get hit really hard. And so we see the results of that, and the normal death rate goes from like 1.8% all the way up to 7 and 8 because the hospital beds are overrun, and there's, the doctors have to make these horrible choices. And then you go to the other extreme, which is the other one is data-driven, a country that did it right. Sweden, Germany, they seem to do okay. The one that handled it the best is probably Japan. Japan had, I think, only 800 deaths for a country that is just straight up on top of each other. They are packed in. They didn't have 800? Something like that?
Yeah, I think it was. No, I'm shocked by how little they had.
Oh, how little they had. Yeah. They had so little. They never locked down. They never completely locked down. They did social distancing. Crazy. They did some limitations on their things. They did some things in their subways, right? They had a cleaning plan. And so somewhere between the science of, hey, this thing is real, and, hey, practically, the Japanese did everything so well. Like, that's kind of where we need to be. And the loud minority voices on the end really serve to cloud everything. Combine that with you cannot trust the early data coming out of China, because China has done nothing in the past 40 years to build trust with anything it's done. And you cannot trust what's coming out of the press, because the press has done nothing in the last 20 years to build trust with itself. And the more people distrust the press, the more the press has a lower voice, even the good press. And now the majority voice is YouTube and Twitter, and even that is getting clouded because the YouTube.
If you mention it,
because now the World Health Organization is being propped up as authority, and there's evidence that they are compromised. Right, because China has undue influence on them, right? And there's an interview where the head of the World Health Organization is getting interviewed about Taiwan, and he's so beholden to China he can't answer their questions, right? And he disconnects himself, right? You remember seeing all that? And then that goes in and says, okay, the World Health Organization is suspect, but now YouTube, the number one voice on planet Earth, is propping up the World Health Organization, which is beholden to, wait, what? Is it an independent organization? What is it looking out for? Is it looking out for health, or is it looking out for China? What's going on here? And then you have YouTube like clearly suppressing voices from like doctors and other experts that could offer some good points, and they were suppressed. Like those 2 doctor videos were suppressed They were removed off YouTube. The channel was canceled because they went against what the World Health Organization they presented counter data, and so
that is the problem at the moment.
That's a huge problem.
So much fucking suppression of information. Apologies, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on enough
do
video.
It.
Am I
yeah,
allowed to curse? Is my volume okay as well, chat?
Yeah. Give me volume feedback.
Perfect. In the international media, you have so much suppression of information, so we don't know what the problem is. We have people in Italy who are saying that there's no problem, but it's because they're mostly in the middle of or the south parts of Italy.
Right.
Yet the northern Italy media is telling people that they have to be they have to stay indoors. And unless you can see why, you are not afraid enough to actually comply with like laws or curfew or whatever. And because of that, people in Italy they stayed outside and they broke the rules, and not all of them now, but a lot of people, and a lot of people got sick. Same thing happened in Spain.
Yes.
Spain and Italy in Europe, I know you know this already, you've been to Europe a lot, but they are very family-based countries, and people will get together in big groups of people just for food or dinner, or they'll have parties together in very massive family parties, and they were doing it. In Spain and Italy, these big families are getting together, passing corona to each other, and that's why we had Spain and Italy as the two main
huge
European
outbreak.
countries.
Yep.
Whereas in Germany, you probably noticed as well, the people are less likely to interact with strangers. You find that people in the supermarket, you don't talk to each other very much. You don't talk to people on the street very often unless you know them. They do have family gatherings, but they're not as huge as Italy, where every evening you'd have a family dinner with a big family group. So in Germany, it was very well taken care of, because Germans tend to be they tend to like to be left alone. They like to have their own lives, and they like to kind of like naturally social distance anyway. So excuse me. And the best thing about Ireland, go on, you first.
Well, two different cultures there, right? The Spanish Italy, they have a culture also of hugging and touching and not a lot of personal space. So. Like they love to hug each other, right? That's a good value. Like that's a good value to have. Like you need community, and you need affectionate community, and within their family, they love hugging and they touch each other, and even among friends, like arms around each other, and they do the like the thing, right?
Kissing each other on the cheeks and all that.
I got kissed by other dudes on the cheek. Like, hey, it's what we're doing.
It can be very uncomfortable if you're not used to it.
Hey, man, I'm here. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then in Germany and also in Hungary, where I spent most of my time in Europe, they do a little bit of that, but that not so much kissing. On the embracing, right, and all this stuff, right?
Exactly.
So somewhere in between.
It's kind of like in between, and you wouldn't hug distant relatives. You'd mostly be hugging people who are, aunts, uncles, mothers, fathers, grandfathers, and stuff like that. So you generally wouldn't just go up to someone's cousin and give them a hug. Whereas in Italy, France, and Spain, it's just a big kiss on the cheek. Yeah. Oh, it's nice to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. Exactly.
Yeah, which 100%. Is great, right? But at the same time, that is prime spreading behavior, right? And
exactly.
Also, you can probably say that. I mean, so think about this. In a similar case, even within the States, we had our two biggest cities, L.A. and New York, right? New York is two things that are different or three things that are different about New York and L.A. One, New York has very little sunshine. They are crowded as hell, and they are on top of each other in tall buildings. So they have number two, elevators, and three, they have really, really good public transport. Yeah. New Yorkers do, right? So you think about an elevator. I thought about this all the time when I first saw New York getting hit. Someone has the thing. They don't even know it, right? Because you could go up to 10, 14 days without knowing you have it, that is the most brutal, right? That is, if anything about this virus is that way, it is the not knowing, right? And you think you're 100%. Yeah. And so you could be in an elevator and you go, right? Now it's in the elevator and it lives in the elevator, and now everybody all day goes up and down in this box. So person number one, right, in the elevator, they leave the box. Someone else gets in the box and rides up and down, stays for several minutes in the box, and then they leave and they go out and then they like that, and then they touch the button, right, for the thing, and now it's on the button. Now everybody that they hit the button for the 21st floor, and now everybody else that lives on floor 21 hit that button with their thumb.
It's like Tinder for a wildfire.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
So, and the third thing is great public transportation. You get in a tube, and you stay in a tube. You get up there and you hold the handrail, and then you leap. And then you hold the handrail, and then someone else has to come right in and hold that handrail all day, right? So, and they get hit hard, right? L.A. So here's the thing that I thought of. I thought, oh, L.A. and New York are toast, but L.A. had a very, very different reaction, right? If I was writing a movie about a pandemic that was coming from China, it would go like this. All right, where do planes land from China the most? The number one landing place for Chinese, number one, Chinese immigrants. Number two, Chinese business people. Number three, people who have business in China, LAX, right? LA Airport. That is number one. There is no refuting this data. It is the number one place for planes coming from China. It would land in LA. Number two, what does LA have way more than New York? Homeless. Tons and tons of homeless. And I would think, and what do homeless have? SFO's number two, San Francisco. And San Francisco also has tons of homeless, right? So here's the thing. Their immune system is beat down. They have zero health care, right? They're not going to have access to ventilators. Are you kidding me? Right? Who's paying for that, right? So there would be the least of them who had shitty health care, and the number one place for people coming in from China, just the wild spread. What I would write in my movie is that the bodies would fill the L.A. morgue with homeless people first, because it would spread through there like crazy, because they are sharing needles and and drinking and all over the place. They're huddled in together, right? And they have no personal space. They have no knowledge of the virus. They may not even have a knowledge of the virus coming in, right? And then the number one place we would see it is, like, it would be the morgue, and the county general, like the public hospitals, would be just overrun. But there is nothing. Like, it is not. That is none of that happened. None of it. Instead, on the opposite side of the country, it's New York, right?
Yeah.
Way far away, right? And then New York just get hits massively, right? And so you go, why would it not hit L.A. versus it would hit New York? And it's probably because of that same thing. Number one, Los Angeles are a lot more like the Germans, where we're not gonna be kissy and huggy, right?
Yeah.
And we want to be left alone. We're in our cars. We're not in a public transport. And we're in houses. We're in $1,000,000,000 houses, and we're spaced out. And when we're on the freeway, we're packed in on the freeway, but we're in our cars. Now, I'm not touching anybody. In New York, they're in the same box, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And in high rises in LA, there's a few. Not near as many high rises and multi-story buildings in LA. It's a sprawling town. It's not a focused vertical town, right?
Yeah.
And number three, sunshine. Like, there's studies coming out about vitamin D being a strong contributor in prevention. So I think it was, hit me on this, but it was vitamin D sufficiency and deficiency. And in Indonesia, it was something like, I think Indonesia or Philippines, cannot remember which one. Sorry, I'm gonna butcher this, but it was, of the people who died from COVID-19, 70 or 80% of them were vitamin D deficient. From that same death group, how many of those people were vitamin D sufficient? 4%.
Wow.
So, like, if I was a scientist looking at this, I would go, wait, vitamin D, that's it? That's cheap. That's sun, right? And what does LA have more than New York?
A lot of sun.
A lot of sunshine, right? A lot of sunshine. And a lot of people wanting to get outdoors, a lot of joggers, a lot of vain sunbathers, right? And a lot of sunshine, very few days of cloudy, very few days of rain. All of that business has tons of sun, right? And so And the other thing is, there's no talk of this, right? And no, what I hear is lockdown, don't lock down. What I hear is don't have government overstep. Have government put down a super lock in place. Economy's ruined. I hear no talk about, hey, populace, let's work on your immune system. Let's work on your health. Let's make sure you're getting enough sleep. Let's make sure you're taking your vitamins. If you can't get out and get some vitamin D, a multivitamin is, a big old jug of multivitamins is $5 a month. Like, let's do it. And that's an easy habit. Vitamin D is cheap. It is dirt cheap. And you can get a sufficient amount just by taking this vitamin. That's it. That's all I got to do. And I can either get it and then not even do it. And vitamin D deficiency is a big thing. Apparently in the States, like 60% of Americans have vitamin D deficiency, and that is cheap. And the best way to do it is get the sun. Second best way is pop the cheapest pill.
Are you taking vitamin D?
Yeah, you bet. You bet. And
what milligram are you taking?
And we're walking. I take it from a multivitamin, and we walk every day.
Okay.
Or the family walks, and I do a run. I do a run like 3 or 4 times a day, or 3 or 4 times a week, and then I walk with the family at least once, twice a week. And we get out and we walk.
Cool.
And that's it. And I look at the thing. It says this thing has 400% of your daily vitamin D. Okay, it's just a gummy. It's easy, right?
Yeah.
I hear no talk about your personal health. I hear all talk about lockdown, don't lock down, release, etc.
I hear that a lot for almost everything, really.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest ways of curing a lot of problems is to exercise and have a good, healthy diet full of fruits and vegetables. But we don't really promote that when it comes to health, or when it comes to like health scares, for example.
Yeah.
Like influenza and stuff. We only promote staying away from each other. So a lot of people who diet, exercise, if they got hit with corona, they wouldn't even know they had it, because their bodies would be so strong against it unless they had, say, asthma or something. So you do a lot of exercise, right?
Yeah, a huge percentage of the people who get it and either have a severe case and get better, or a severe case and die, have pre-existing conditions, have weakened immune system. I mean, hey, age. Like the older you get, the less your immune system works well. It's just fact. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. That's why the old people get hit harder than the youngsters. Now, if you have a pandemic that starts killing massive amounts of young people, hey, like now we're kind of screwed. But otherwise,
the Spanish flu did that, didn't it?
Yeah, Spanish flu, right? Otherwise, there's lots of stuff we can do to help keep your youth longer, preserve your immune system. You can exercise. Exercise is huge. Vitamin D, getting out and taking your vitamins, eating right, like working on eating vegetables.
My question to you is, you do a lot of jiu-jitsu. How did you do that with the pandemic? Were you allowed in close contact with people for jiu-jitsu?
Killed.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes, killed. Done.
Yeah.
That is gone. And so I have I actually the person who is probably the best to talk about this is actually my former roommate in college. He went on to be a doctor.
Okay.
And I went on to make dick jokes on the internet.
Typical.
Which my mother takes great pride in stating. Like,
she does.
She and I, like this guy, he and I roomed for 4 years together. We started in the same damn room, right next to each other, studying the same damn stuff. And his house is like 5,100 square feet, and he's a doctor. My house is not that. And I make dick jokes on the internet for pennies, right?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and so she's like, "Oh, I really like that. I really like that guy. I really like that. I really like him. How's he doing? All that business, right?" So I wrote an article about this too. He goes on to go get his black belt in jiu-jitsu, studies the same kind of form that I do. We hook up after 18 years of, I don't know, 18 years, like 8 years after not seeing each other. And then we fight for the first day. Like we haven't spoken, or we haven't talked to each other. And then we do jiu-jitsu and we fight for the first time. The first time we come back together and we fight. It's great. It's a language, different language that we speak. He goes on to get his black belt. And so I'm texting him through this whole thing. I'm saying, hey man, how are you doing? Is your hospital overrun? Because at least for a time, he was. Let me adjust this camera. He was assistant medical director, which means he had to make those decisions of, do we have enough PPE? Do we have enough training? Do we have enough ventilators? Do we have enough ICU beds? Like, what are we like? Not just what is the best care I can give for my patients. He's actually doing medical type of leadership decisions. So I start texting him and saying, how are you guys doing? He says, man, you would not believe it. I'm laying off doctors. I'm having to furlough them because our hospitals are empty, right? Because elective surgeries are gone. And what he means by elective is, hey, I'm fine. I have a heart valve that's deteriorating. I need to get that fixed. Well, sorry, you're going to have to wait another 6 months because we can't have anybody in the hospital, right? So right now it's elective. I can put it off a month, right? I can put off maybe 4 or 5 months. But by the way, I need a surgery, or my knee is out of cartilage and I need a knee replacement, right? I need something happen here. I'm in pain every day. That's, at some point, you need to get that fixed, right? And that's considered elective. So he says all of those surgeries, gone. And hospitals are empty.
Happened in Ireland too.
Yeah, same deal. So, and then I said, well, how is, there you go, furloughed. Getting terminated, Hawk knows. And he's also a jiu-jitsu black belt, and he did some teaching and all this other stuff. So he came up the same way as me, and he says, Blake, I do not see us doing jiu-jitsu again until next year at the earliest.
Oh wow, the whole year?
Yes, he said it's crazy. Is off. Like it's there. He says I don't see an intimate activity like that happening.
That's crazy.
Other than the professional level where you can afford testing and screening and all of that consent
like
forms,
UFC and stuff,
right? For everybody who is doing it as an amateur, just kind of doing it for fitness or fun or self-defense, all that other stuff. He says there's no practical way we're going to do that until probably next year.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
And last time I went was in February. It was right before PAX East. And then I got sick coming home, and then lockdown happened mid-March, and that was it. That's it.
How has lockdown affected your stream? Have you been streaming extra? Have you been growing on Twitch from it? How has it affected you?
Same. I'm supposed to be interviewing you, Butthorn. Listen to me.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Why am I asking the question?
Look, Butthorn. And you're going to answer this next. But yeah, so
okay.
I have about the same. I hustle no matter what, right? The cool part is I'm getting to spend a little bit more time with the family because I'm not leaving. I get to get up about the same time in the morning, but I can come in and do it either instead of my commute time, it's now my exercise time is freed up. Or I'll do a little show work, I'll do a little extra work, and then I can kind of get all my shit done, and then I could knock off a little earlier, and then get some stuff done around the house and start my stream, or a lot of times I'll start my stream earlier.
Yeah.
So maybe 10% more, but I stream 6 days a week as it is, and my normal job, and all that. I mean, like I hustle. I don't usually get a ton of downtime where I can just chill and fart off, right?
Yeah.
So I'm working or I'm working. That's it.
Yeah.
So
that's a good way to be.
Two things. How has coronavirus affected you, your personal life, like your comings and goings, and then how has it affected your stream?
I'll start off with personal life. There's a couple of small things and then one or two big things. So the first one would be during the early stages, I self-isolated. Germany was never really on full isolation or full lockdown. You could still leave the house to go shopping, and you could still leave the house to do basic necessities. So I self-isolated for 2 weeks where I wasn't leaving the house, and the only fresh air I was getting was pretty much balcony or out the window or whatever. So that was very small. That was done by me because we have elderly neighbors. I don't want them to catch corona. And the second thing was after I did self-isolation, we were allowed outside for 1 day or 1 hour a maximum of exercise as long as you have one other person. You can only have one other person with you if they're from the same household. So it didn't affect us at all. We went for a morning walk every day, and then we came back and streamed. Joanna was off work all this time as well, so it was perfect. We had a full-time mod for the entire stream, and we were streaming away as normal. And then the last one was we have to wear face masks when we go shopping, so that's the only small thing that has changed. Everything else, apart from the local coffee shop being closed, hasn't changed in the small term. Now, in the big way, the coronavirus is preventing me from visiting my family.
Yes.
Thank God none of them got sick, because we couldn't fly to Ireland to go visit them.
You can't.
And then we can now, but what's going on at the moment is two problems. Ireland, you have to self-isolate for 2 weeks, and
if you fly,
take 2 weeks off. If you fly, yeah,
right.
And if you self-isolate, you have to tell them exactly where you're going to be self-isolating. So when I go on holiday to Ireland, I have to see friends, family, my grandmother.
You have 4 weeks,
things like that.
Right. So
I'm going to have to go for 4 weeks, and I can't afford that on a streamer's salary.
Yeah.
Making dick jokes on the internet.
Yeah.
So I was gonna go in September, but now the flights are astronomically inflated in price. So I'm probably gonna have to wait till next March, which means I haven't seen my parents since March last year, which is a long time to wait around. So I'm very lucky. Over here, as I said last weekend, I had family over. Joanna's family is amazing. They take care of me very well, and it's like having another family. Yeah. So at least I do have family away from home, but it still would be nice to visit my parents 100%. As well in Ireland. So those are the two main things, like the small bits and the big one for coronavirus. And then how has it affected the stream? I'm doing 7 days a week at the moment, say 8 to 10 hours a day streaming, and everything's been going great. The stream has had record numbers, which is great as well. So Corona has definitely helped improve the stream statistics, and it has improved my work ethic as well. I'm putting the 7 days in a week since, as I said, Joanna's off. And we're on 75 days in a row now. So today is my 75th day. So we're going to just keep going for as long as I can, maybe throughout the summer. And then the next time I'll take a day off is probably when I'm on the plane to Ireland.
There you go. Yeah, that's great. I'm looking at you can go to Sully Gnome. You can look at MC's 180-day forecast. There you go. This is all public stuff. You can go check it out, and it's true. Good growth, all that good stuff. Do you know Sully Gnome?
Yeah, I usually use I use Sully Gnome for games. If I'm about to choose a game on Twitch,
boom,
and I want to see which games I want to play, I use Sully Gnome. But if I'm looking for my personal stats, I use Twitch Tracker. I have it bookmarked on my phone.
Twitch Tracker.
You use that one too?
Yes. Yeah. I'll go back and forth. Most of the time I use Sully Gnome. But Sully Gnome is you can go look at it. Let me put up my numbers too for those of you who want to do the thing. So those links will be available in the chat. I've got mine. It shows you the number of average viewers over X amount of X period. It's my 180-day chart. You can see that, so 6 months. So we've been in this mode for 3 months now. February, March, April, May, right? Because we're at the end of May. 3 months prior, you can kind of compare, and overall, my numbers are up, right? In that same time frame from where I was 180 days ago. So take into account Q1 versus kind of Q2, right? Almost like that. And
did you see the stats for Twitch from March to April? It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, they were going nuts. Yeah, and so here's okay. So let me unpack. I'll unpack mine, but I want to ask you this question because I know you've thought about it. What do you think is going to be some world macro changes post-COVID world? Right? What things do you think are going to be with us forever now?
And do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. My big one, Joanna and I have been speaking about this, and that is I think the Western society will have more people wearing masks all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, you'll see people on the metro, you'll see people in the trams in Europe, and they'll just be wearing masks.
Yes.
It's going to be common to see, like it is in Asia, but in the
Right.
Western world.
Right.
Yeah.
At PAX East, this was late February. I agree with this. Late February. We were in Boston, so this is just kind of as the stuff is building. And over that weekend, I came home on March 1st. By March 15th, it was we're in full lockdown mode. It's go time, right? It's here, right? It was already out, and they were starting to quarantine people that weekend, which is why I went home a day early, because I was in Boston sick. I was sick in Boston, right? And I just said, I was at PAX East, and so now, with this in the back, all these reports coming out as we're going there, it's like, hey, are we still going? Is this thing going to still happen, right? I noticed that there were masks being worn, but it was only Asians. Only.
Yeah.
There were no, it was only either, and I don't know if they were from Japan or they were Americans, Asian Americans in there, but they had a culture of wearing masks. And I'm thinking to myself, that same thing is like they have a culture of doing this very frequently. I mean, Hong Kong is one place where you'll see it because they're tear gassing those poor bastards, right? That they wear them all the time, right? But then even in normal, like last year, I saw some stuff from Japan as we were talking about like the flu season, and just their normal flu season. There was a train full of people, and I would say 80% of them had masks on just for, I don't know, safety, whatever. And as I'm at PAX East and I'm seeing them, I'm going, I think this is going to be us. Like this is going to be the Americans. Everybody's going to adopt this policy pretty soon, because this seems like the way to go, right?
Yeah,
that's 100%. A good one. All right, what else?
So I think there's going to be a lot more social distancing, but I suppose it depends on groups. You're going to, even walking, like I know that Germany's not in lockdown anymore. We're fully open again. But I still see people keeping distance when we walk past each other.
Yep.
And I feel like that is a major thing that's not going to, it's going to stop happening all the time, but it's going to still happen regularly, where you're going to see people walking single file to pass each other out when you're walking down a country trail or whatever, or you're going to see people kind of moving a little bit away from each other when there's two groups walking past each other. And it never used to happen before, of course, but now it's going to be a little bit more social distancing.
Right.
The other thing that I was thinking about is, for example, hand sanitizers and washing your hands, I think, is going to become more commonplace now. Yes. I think a lot of people are going to start washing their hands more regularly. I mean, as I said, once again, the pandemic is over here. Like technically, the number is below 1, but we still come in after going outside and wash our hands straight away. It's become a habit.
Yep.
So I think a lot more hand washing.
Right.
Those are the three main things, I think.
I agree. All right. What about? So when I came home from PAX East, we have if you see my Twitter, we have a family movie night. These are movies that Ash has to see before I release him into the world. They're just movies that you got to see. Like he's got to see.
You have some classics in there. I've seen them.
Right? Yeah. He's got to have seen. He's got to have seen all the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Right? He's got to have seen those. He also needs to see The Naked Gun.
Awesome.
Right? You got to see Airplane.
Proper comedy.
You got to see Hunt for Red October, which we did. We got to see all Tom Cruise, most of Tom Cruise stuff. You got to see Days of Thunder, right? You need to know Rubbin is racing, right? You know, and so one of them on that list was Demolition Man, and the Demolition Man, they had the 3 shells because we had a toilet paper crisis, right? And that was very, I mean, it was dumb, right? And then they had the greeting. Right? They don't shake hands.
Oh, yeah.
They don't touch each other.
That was Demolition Man?
Yeah. They stop, and then they do this business, right? They do the swirly, right?
Yeah.
Do you think this is the end of the handshake?
Can you imagine? Started going up to each other?
What do we do? Do we look? This is. Can you just tell? I'm a giant fan of the Japanese culture. That bowing business. that is not only great socially, it is great functionally. Like, you're not touching anybody, you just right, you bow. That's a great sign of respect. It's a greeting, right? And you're bowing, you're not touching each other. I think we should do that. You know?
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be hilarious.
Each other.
Right? And how insane would historians be 100 years from now, drawing a parallel from Japan in the 1945s, from being a conquered nation in 1945, now having the nation who conquered them adopt their customs of bowing and masks and all.
That would be so funny.
100 years from now, historians are going to go, what?
What the fuck happened?
What happened here? These guys won?
God.
Yeah. And look what happened. It's like it's exactly what happened. Japan was a conquered nation. And in I want to say in 30 to 40 short years, they came one generation. They came about to a world economic power. And then with the 20s, culturally, they became a cultural power, right? Where their customs are now like, hey, we've got a superior way of doing stuff. We got a superior way of social greeting, superior way of health care. We've got a superior way of going to the toilet. Like Japanese toilet technology. Okay.
It's crazy.
Number 1, Japan. Number 2, Germany. Toilet technology. I am like, hey, you know, I hold nations and cultures in high regard for their space program and their toilet technology. And those guys got it going on, right? They're badass. Like, I'm a fan.
Better than a bog in the ground.
Right. The more that those two things you have, hey man, let's stop and take notes. Like, school's in because they got shit going on, right? I would say I think we should totally do something different, right? Because handshakes, and I mean, we just talked about it. Like, why did it spread so much in France and Italy and Spain and all that? Because they're a very touchy community. Well, that's great. There's a great way to do that, but Japan has a very familial type of culture also, right? They do. They have a custom of passing down their house from generation to generation, right? So that they just, as a new generation moves in, they move one floor up, you know, and so grandfather is 2 stories up. Father is on the 2nd floor, and the family with the kids and all that is on the bottom floor, and they just stack up, and that way everybody's there by supporting each other. There's a good family dynamic there, but numbers don't lie. Like 800 and something deaths, and that's it, and never locked down. There's something to that. Like, we gotta figure that out, right?
That is crazy, but there is one small thing that a lot of I suppose like countries like Ireland, we had a particular benefit, as well as Japan, I suppose, and I suppose it should have happened in the UK too, but they have a tunnel, and that's because we're in an island. Ireland had very low deaths as well compared to the amount of patients, and it's mostly because of the fact that we don't have that many people coming into Ireland except for tourists, and if the tourist trade is going offline anyway, we have very few people in general, and because we have the island mentality, and it's a pity that the UK had the opposite effect. They had a lot of deaths, but I think it's because they have so much access to the mainland UK through tunnels, you know, like through the Eurostar and stuff.
Yep.
So I think Ireland got very lucky in that regard. I think Ireland only had 20,000 cases, which is not bad, and most of the cases were only in 3 cities, and that's also not very bad. But as you said earlier, there was a problem with the hospitals where the hospital was empty, but the hospital couldn't do anything for example, hip patients, or they couldn't do anything for leg patients, if you get me. Yep.
Right. They couldn't. They had a very, very hard time of doing all that business. And here we go. Let's look at Demolition Man, the contact-free high five. I want to show this on the stream.
Is that Bruce Willis?
No. It was Sylvester Stallone was the main guy.
Yes.
Sandra Bullock was the co-star.
I love that movie.
And then here's Rob Snyder and I forget this dude's name, but here's their high five. Stop, and then rub it like that. That's their high five. There you go.
I have to wait for this delay.
Yep, it'll delay. There you go.
And that was a perfect moment in the movie as well, where
Yep.
they were celebrating the arrest of, I think, Sylvester Stallone, wasn't it? And
They're
like,
arresting they're arresting somebody, and it was speaking in an authoritative tone. Yeah, and like that may be the end of. I mean, I don't know. So I actually have an interesting story about this, is because I went to the dentist Thursday. So how much more other than jiu-jitsu, is there a more consensual operation that you can do with another person's face that's legal and consensual than dentistry? Right? And so lockdown happens in March. Fast forward, my appointment is May 27th. What's up, guys? What's up, Evil Trick? Those of you who are listening on the MP3, you can come by twitch.tv /enough about you. You can come down and watch us live as we kick by, and there's a chat. You can come in and hang out with us. What's up, fellas? When there is my appointment was this Thursday, so there's 2.5 months, right? And I kept waiting for them to cancel my appointment. Right, because how do you do that without endangering everything? So you're gonna like this. So nope, done cancel. I get the reminder text on Monday. It says, hey, your appointment's ready. Be here 7 a.m. because I always do it on Thursdays and I always do it early. And I walk in, and on the door, masks required. Okay.
In a dentist,
masks required. Okay, I'll wear one in. I don't know what we're going to do after I get through that door to get to my teeth, but I mean, hey, So then they have a hockey rink plexiglass surrounding the receptionist area.
Wow.
Right? So you can't, it's like the sneeze guard at the buffet type of thing, but it comes down all the way down to your hands. So you have to pass, if you have a card or something, you have to pass it underneath this little, it's almost like a bank teller plexiglass that's now prohibiting the receptionist people, okay? They have a slider door that they have to slide back and forth. And then they said, okay, we need to take your temperature. So they have this little handgun, and she slid the thing back, and she reached up and did the thing. She goes, okay, all right, you're all good. She took my temperature, and then I had to sign this little thing. She said, all right, I need you to sanitize your hands right now. And they had a little squirt thing, and I had to, do the thing. And then she said, I need you to go over here, and we're gonna and you just fill out. I had to fill out a questionnaire on my survey to say, where have you been? Have you been in contact with anybody? Experiencing any symptoms or whatever? And then on this iPad, she the only thing she did not do is wipe down the iPad after I was done, and I saw some smears on it. So I hit it with my knuckle. I didn't hit my fingerprint. I did my knuckle, and it worked. And I answered these questions. It was some more stuff about insurance and phone number and all this other stuff. And I hit the go button, and then they said, okay, we have a few chairs in the lobby if you want to sit down, but we recommend you stand.
Okay.
And there was only like 2 other people in the lobby, and we were way far apart. And one lady was older, and she was sitting down, and me and another person were standing. Yeah. And so we're not even touching any chairs, not even sitting in there. So I was just chilling, right? 10 minutes later, they come get me, bring them back, and then back there they did the vital check. They do the blood pressure, which is a deal. She checks my temperature again, which is interesting. And then they usually have to get the plaque off of your teeth. They have 2 ways: the old school scraper, which is this little hook, and it's not painful, but it's uncomfortable. I mean, you scrape it on your teeth, right? If they're raucous with it, they'll hit your gums, and that's what hurts, right? But otherwise, whatever. They did have this little thing called a Cavitron, and a Cavitron it's basically sound. It's like all the squeaking. It sounds horrible. It sounds like they're drilling through your skull. And Cavitron, I think is what it's called. And let me get an image of it. Cavitron Plus. This is a thing here. Let me see if I can zoom in on the video for you. Open image in new tab. There we go. Okay, there is the Cavitron. And what it does is it basically, they hold it on your teeth, and it does these sonic waves, but it shoots all kinds of water at it. And all they do is they tap the plaque, and it breaks the plaque off. It's fine for your teeth. Doesn't hurt. Sometimes the water is cold. Right, there's Cavitron on screen. And the water's cold because there's water coming up through that tube that you see. And it sounds like the most horrific thing ever. It sounds like they're drilling through your skull. I mean, and it kind of, sometimes it feels like that, but it
vibrates, right?
It vibrates. All it does is that's gone because it splashes water everywhere, and it kind of aerosolizes your saliva and the water in there splashes. The cleaner person had on an N95 mask, which is the one that's fitted and tight and with the thing, right?
Yeah.
She put on a second one. She gave me. I took off my mask. She gave me some eye protection, which is standard. These little cheap ass glasses. So basically, I'm the coolest dentist patient ever, right? I'm like doing this shit, and then she's got this little face shield that comes down in front of it and she's scraping. So she said no more Cavitron because I can't breathe it in, and then and so it's all scraping. And then before I started, she said, all right, I need you to roll this mouthwash. For 30 seconds, which is a new thing. And it was a very potent tasting disinfectant.
Yeah.
And she says that is an alcohol-based, you're not supposed to use alcohol mouthwash anymore. So like if you go buy Listerine or you go buy Scope, any of the brands of mouthwash, it's alcohol-free. And she said, she was telling me it's not, that has alcohol in it to help kill, it's antiviral. And 30 seconds, and she started a little timer like next to me, and I went, "Oh shit!" Like, okay, and well, yeah, and it's to kill whatever. If there's virus, if I'm infection and don't know it, and there's virus in my mouth, it's going to kill those for the hour that she is working on my face, right?
An hour, my God,
the whole thing is like 40 minutes or whatever. However long. However long that
time for teeth. How many teeth you have?
I got all of them, and they were great. But it was all scraping. Now it's not the Cavitron's faster, and it was
slower,
all it was slower. And it was all scraping. So it was about 40 minutes of cleaning. I waited 5 minutes or so. The dentist came in, looked at me, and all this, and he said, "Great, you're doing a great job. Keep flossing." Because I floss 6 times a week. Like I'm a good tooth. I obey my dentist when I take good care of my teeth. And Dennis says, nothing going on here. Looking great. Any problems you tell me about? Everything looks good. No cavities. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I said, hey, man, I was curious. How is pandemic dentistry treating you? I'll use that word. He starts laughing. He's like, oh, man, it's the craziest thing. And so he said, yeah, we were down for 2 months. We had to cancel a bunch of appointments. He says, we just opened 2 weeks ago. We didn't cancel yours because you were already good, but all of those we're having to filter in around the existing appointments. And he says we're going till we opened up evening hours to catch up, and just to kind of catch back up. He says we were down for 2 months, so we closed in late February and we opened in right on May 1st, and started trying to catch up with everybody. So
that's crazy.
So yeah, he was pandemic dentistry like that.
Pandemic dentistry. Oh my God!
Look, that's gonna, like, really, what pandemic dentistry? How do you do something so intimate with someone's mouth where the infection lives here, right? And it's here and here. How do you do something that intimate with somebody that legally intimate, right? With somebody's strangers' throats like this, and still do it safely and successfully and treat their teeth? He said this is what we've put out there. This is as good as we can do and still stay in business.
That is crazy.
And he was just like, this is best we can come up with. He said, I'm sure it's going to evolve, but we feel like this is the mouthwash and the plexiglass and the temperature and the screening and the questionnaire and all of the stuff. is as good as we can practically do to make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah.
And he's like, otherwise, should I shut this place down and run all? I mean, there's 28 people here. Should I fire all of them? What do I want to do? Right?
It's a very tough decision for business owners at the moment because some of them have to let people go, but they don't want to close the whole business, but they have to let some people go.
Right.
Who do you let go? It's such a
it's hard. I don't envy those decisions.
Yeah.
I don't envy those decisions at all. Right?
Yeah.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah, it really is.
So hey, I wanted to bring it back to streaming. I don't think I've ever heard this story before. You and I have been streaming now for about 4.5 years, I would say. 5 years maybe. Like, did you start in 2015, 2014?
14, the end of 2014.
End of 2014.
So I'm almost on 6 years in August.
Okay, so I started July 4th, 2015. So
July 4th? Oh, you're coming up to your
That's
anniversary.
right. At 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm coming up on 5 years. So tell me about why you started. Because I love those stories of I saw it, I thought I could do it, or it was whimsy, right? I just said, screw it, and we just started, and it took off, and or it was, I have a plan. Like, I have a business plan, a 5-year business plan, right? There's all kinds of different things, right? So tell me how and why you started.
Back in about 2013, I believe, I was watching a lot of YouTube and listening to a lot of YouTube podcasts in particular. I don't think you've ever heard of All Gen Gamers by any chance. Did you ever hear them? So they were 4 guys who had really cool collections for their consoles in 2012 and 2013, and I was kind of getting a little bit in with them. I was talking to them, but it was only on forums, on Facebook. On YouTube itself, I was never a YouTuber, so I wouldn't have been on their level of content creation. But I had
is this them?
Pretty...
All Gen Gamers?
Let me have a look. You're bringing them up on the screen, yeah? So you mean the link in chat? That's exactly it. And unfortunately, they stopped doing podcasts. But Clowntown, if you want to listen to 4 really intelligent people talk about gaming for the past, make sure you go back and have a look at these boys. They are very, very intelligent, and that's kind of why I wanted to get involved in YouTube in general. So originally it was YouTube, and I wanted to show off the collection that I had because I had a good enough collection to show off, and I started making YouTube videos. That would have been back in 2013. Then I started watching... I actually have a funny story. Like, you want to hear good stories about how someone started. So I have an interesting story for you. I went on holidays. It was a foreign holiday or a vacation. And when I was on vacation, I got really sick. So I couldn't leave the room or the apartment that I was in for 5 days. Okay? So I spent that entire 5 days watching Twitch. It was my very first time on Twitch, and I was watching 2 streamers in particular. One of them I won't mention the name of because I can't remember the exact name. And the other one was Co Carnage. You know him.
I do.
So
friend of the show.
No way.
No. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. So Co was playing a horror game at that time. He was playing Silent Hill PT. The other guy that I remember was playing Diablo 3, by the way. I just can't remember his name. He's King something. King John or King George or something. Anyway.
We're like this. We're like this. King... Okay.
Yeah, very... King something.
My bro, friend of the show.
He my best friend. So I was watching the two of these boys, and I was watching Cole because he was so interested in his community. He wanted to talk to people. He wanted to create conversation. And I was watching the King guy because he wanted to help his audience, and he was helping them learn how to play the game better. So I thought to myself, you know what? I would love to start a stream on Twitch when I get home from this holiday that I'm sick from, and try and do both of those things at the same time. Try and help people learn about games that I know a lot about, and also to create conversation with people who come into the channel. Of course, I moved from console gaming to PC. So the first idea that I had about teaching people how to play games kind of went out the window because I didn't have any games that I knew about. But
That's right.
But now I do. So
Nice.
I started off on Rust back in August.
This
1st,
is a keyboard.
This is a keyboard. Where's WASD? What does that mean?
This is a keyboard. Yeah.
So I started off on games that I had no idea about, like Rust, for example, and I started off on DayZ because I was recommended those games for PC gaming, and then I came across Terraria.
Yeah.
And Terraria, on my very first stream of Terraria, Relogic and Senix decided to host me, shouting out the stream saying that I am playing Terraria. And everyone was coming in asking, why are you hosting this noob? He has no idea what he's doing. Because I was dying over and over again at the beginning of the game because I just didn't know what I was doing. So it was quite funny. But now that I have years of experience with Terraria, of course, now I can finally help people. So I'm finally able to do both the two things at once. Help people learn how to play a game better, but also and introduce them to new games too, and also create conversation and chat. Is there anything else you'd like to know? I think that's everything from my backstory.
That's perfect, man. Perfect. Yeah, and Terraria. Yeah, we talk about all that all the time about Kingmaker, the Terraria, Relogic. They can kind of play Kingmaker and go, okay, the crown will be on your head for the day, and we're just gonna, we have the influence of, hey, we've made this masterpiece of a game.
Yeah, 100%.
It is a masterpiece. And here is a streamer who's doing it live. We're going to be there. We're going to talk with them. We're going to experience this game together. Here you go. And that's what happened to my friend OX33.
Yes.
He started streaming in September of 2014.
Oh, wow.
And was partnered by December of 2014.
No way. That's crazy.
I mean, and it was because Whitney and Andrew and the Relogic crew went, this is our guy. And he did the exact same thing. He started streaming, and I think it was right around the 1.3 update when the hype was huge. And then here we go, pow. It might not have been down. I think it might have been later, but it was. He got hosted. I think it was for like a week straight from Relogic. They had such a good time.
Yeah. And he also got early access to 1.3 as well.
Yep. He got that whenever it came out, etc. I mean, it went nuts. And he was partnered in 3 months, which back then, partner is different than it is now. I would say it's easier now than it was. Partner was much more of an exclusive thing in 2014 than it is in 2020, for sure.
Do you remember what it was like when they said that you had to have 500 viewers average?
500 average viewers. And here's the thing. Twitch did not give you that data.
No, they didn't tell you when you had any of that.
No,
this
analytics.
Is all spoon-fed now.
The analytics in your... Okay, Badger and I talk about this all the time. The analytics in your dashboard right now, for everybody who's on Twitch, if you've streamed any, you'll see these beautiful analytics of views per hour, viewers per hour, subs per hour, new followers, all of that stuff. That was not even exist at that time. And by the way, we would have paid $100, maybe even $200, $300 per month for a service like that. If we took streaming seriously, we would have paid big time. Just tell me what help me understand what my impact is in this space.
I spend I usually take about a half an hour after every stream, get a cup of tea, and look at my analytics. I call it the post stream.
Yes.
And I make sure that I do my post stream every post stream, and I literally just look at the viewers, the average viewers, and the followers that came through, and where did they come from? Which game was I playing? That's the only thing that I wish Twitch would tell us, but we can use Solidome for that.
Yes.
What time we played each game, so that we know where the games are in our graphs. But apart from not knowing which game is which, like looking at which clip got the most views, looking at where the followers came from, looking where the viewers came from, what channels they came from, if you have any friends on Twitch who are hosting you, so you can go and host them in the future, who found you through the followers, who found you through browsing. And I always find that
are they on PC or are they on this?
Yes.
Right.
And what countries as
Big.
well? It's crazy.
Big.
Yeah. So much information that we would have paid hundreds for.
We would have paid
14, 15.
Yeah, insane amount of money. So all of this stuff that was here, not only was the bar way the hell up there, and who knows, right?
Yeah.
The bar was so far up there, and we had no idea where we were in relation to the bar. I mean,
exactly.
We had an idea, but when I start the stream, T equals 0 now, and then there's a build up to a number that you sit at. All that area under the curve still counts, right? So we had no idea where we were, right? You
would literally just have to hope that your average was high enough, and then send in an application.
Yeah, and that was it. There was no partner goals, no analytics, no achievements, none of that shit. None of that.
Crazy.
It's crazy, right? And it's nebulous now. It kind of is, right? Because you can still have 75 average. You can get all three of those paths of partner achievements, and they'll still say no, right?
They'll still say no, yeah.
And that actually happened to some of my Factorio buddies who had way better numbers than me, than I guess is the correct vernacular. They had way better numbers, and they got denied, like on their first try. And
well, they always deny you once, don't they?
Maybe.
I feel like they're trying to get you ready for,
failure.
Make sure you won it.
Make sure you won it.
Failure. Make sure you won it.
Yeah. Which is fine. Sure. I ain't going anywhere, right? I'm not going anywhere. So yeah, they would, and there was other ones denying, and they said they could deny you for any reason, and they can accept you for any reason. So. The one example I have is my Terraria.
I'll be back in 1 second. Just gonna run to the loop.
Okay, my Factorio buddy, my Factorio buddy gets it. Had in the hundreds of viewers average, easy, got denied. And who knows whatever the reason is, right? Then the other side is. The other side is a streamer from Greece. He was Greek, lived in Greece, had just started out, and saw some ads, and they started looking for Greek streams because Twitch wanted to be in Greece. They needed a Greece streamer, and they approached him and said, "Hey, are you taking this seriously? Are you doing the things? What are you doing?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm here." And they said, "Let's work a deal." He got partnered his first month, and it was because Twitch wanted to break into a Greek market and have a Greek person to represent them in this Greek market. That was it. It was only because he was Grecian, I guess you'd call it. He was a Greek, and he knew Grecian language. Grecian? Is that the right word? He knew Greek, and he was Greek. That's it. The other types of people who get partnered super easy, charities. Like if you're a charity, you may have 0.0 average viewers, but if you can present a case to Twitch of saying, "Hey, I'm a charity, here's what we're doing," or "I'm a well-known charity in this space, I have a plan to do some live streams in this place. I want to do them on Twitch. Can you help me?" Bam, you're in, right?
I'm surprised that Terraria Logic didn't get partnered yet. They probably didn't apply because as a game company on Twitch, they would have been automatic partners, right?
Likely, yes. That's another one. That's another one who gets it really, really easily. Yeah, his name was. I remember his name being very Greek sounding.
And what was his numbers? Do you know?
Oh, he started that month. It was not 75.
Oh, okay.
It was Twitch partnered him because they wanted to break into a Greek market. They said first month you're on.
Ah,
that was it.
Interesting.
And so Twitch can deny for any reason, and they can accept for any reason the same way.
Yeah.
Right. That's it.
Interesting.
So who knows, right? It does, and when they say go ahead, and apply, yeah, there you go. Esports teams get partnered pretty easily, and other companies. Like if you had a company that was, okay, so say Nike shoes, right? Comes along and says, hey, I want to be on Twitch. Right now, Nike today has twitch.tv/Nike. They have 0.0 viewers. They can just partner you. And they can say, okay, we're going to debut some running shoes. We're going to debut some shoe commercials. We're going to have people running, have people doing CrossFit, whatever. We have these new trainers. We're going to do this once a week. It's an athletic thing. Here we go. Boom. Right? NASA got partnered. Right?
Yes. Did you watch the lift
I did. My community.
So nice.
My community bullied me into watching it. And they're like, "Hey, turn off Terraria.
Yeah.
This is more important." I agree.
It was nice. It was cool.
That was really good. They were those mother truckers were in space in 5 minutes. 5.5 minutes. They broke space.
They were going 27,000 kilometers an hour roughly.
And here's the thing.
So fast.
That stage 1 booster was back on the platform on Earth, landed in 9.5 minutes. What the hell? Right? It was insane. I went, what? It's already back. Like, we didn't see the landing because the camera cut out, but we saw the final picture of that stage 1 booster on the platform done. And then I watched the clock turn over to 9 minutes 30 seconds, and I went, what? I'll be right back in 10 minutes with this thing. Bam. It landed on a boat. Was drone controlled. It was great. You can't even make it to Walmart in 9.5 minutes.
They made it to space. They made it over 200 kilometers in less than, I think it was 9 minutes or maybe 5 minutes. I can't make it to Dublin in Ireland in less than 2 hours. It's around the same distance. It's crazy how fast they were going.
And one of those dudes in the cockpit, he's sitting here with his hands like this. He was just interlacing his fingers.
And a dinosaur. Did you see the dinosaur?
Yep, dinosaur.
Yeah.
And I was noting there's not a steering wheel on that thing. Right? In the old space shuttles, there was a thing like a stick to grab on and a gear shift and a bunch of other stuff. There's a computer screen in front of that dude. And by the way, they had these thick-ass gloves. Like, they had sausage fingers. There's no way they're going to hit keys on keypads. So it all had to be either touch screens or like facial recognition, something. Or
it's crazy.
Or giant-ass buttons so that they don't actually hit 2 buttons at once. Right?
Can you imagine it? Oh my God!
I mean, think about the thought process in that Dragon capsule now, right? In that thing now. There's actually a great interview on Joe Rogan's show. It was from one of the astronauts who was working on this, and I think they stopped. NASA pretty much folded up shop in 2015 and said, we're going to overhaul this whole system. And the guy was saying, like, look, 2020 is the year we break through, and we're going to go dark for a time. We're going to rethink the whole thing. We're going to redesign it. We're going to do private companies so we can get more lean and mean. It's going to be NASA. It's not going to be NASA doing the whole thing. It's going to be NASA out partnering and all of that sort of thing. And here's what we're gonna do. And he says 2020 is going to be our breakout year. And sure enough, there's 2 dudes that docked this morning, I guess, at 10:30 a.m. my time. Docked with ISS about 5 hours ago, and they launched opened the hatch about 3 hours ago.
The crazy thing is that it's a private company who pretty much did this entire thing.
Yep.
So this is the first time a private company has done that, and it's no longer run by the government or like it's not only NASA. SpaceX is going to have hopefully more people in space than in the last 30 years, because we haven't really sent that many people up to space in the last 10 years, for example.
Right.
Even though our technology is so good, I think health and safety has improved so much that they were scared a lot of the time, and the cost, of course, but they were afraid that we would have a repeat of the last big crash where nine astronauts died. Yeah,
they got it to where they were trying to do lots and lots of missions rapidly, and then that's when the safety things got them, because they kept cutting corners, and then those things blew up, and then it was like, okay, back to the drawing board. And then they went, okay, well, we got to go back to the drawing board anyway. Should we just really go back to the drawing board, cut our, really rethink the whole thing? And so they went dark for a long time and had no launches from the U.S. Like the only way to get space for like 5-6 years was Russia. You had to go hitch rides with the Russians. You know, hey, can you take me up? And
take me up as if it's just so easy.
Yeah, it's like Hitchhiker's Guide, right? You just got to stick your thumb out. Right?
Yeah. Go on, let's go.
Look, I got $90 million in my pocket is burning a hole, and I want to go to space. You guys got room for me or what? Right?
Send me in the back.
Yeah, send me up, right? Yeah. So my chat's heard it a bunch of times. My streaming story was I messaged a buddy. I bought Faster Than Light.
Yeah.
Okay, great game. I messaged a buddy, and I said, I'm getting my ass kicked on Faster Than Light. Do you have a wiki that can help me out with these sorts of things? And he goes, no, I have something better. Go watch this guy. And he messaged me twitch.tv/lethalfrag.
Oh, yeah.
Lethal Frag. And I went, huh? And that was my first exposure to Twitch. And I sat in Lethal Frag's chat, and I went, what is going on here? And I said, oh, he's live. What? What is this thing? And then I had no thoughts about being a viewer.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to do this.
I'm doing that.
I'm doing this. That was it. In 5 minutes, I made the decision in some way, some fashion, however it's going to look, this is what I'm doing. That was it. I was never a loyal viewer. I was never a mod. I was never any of that stuff. And I made that decision. Oh, this is what I want. I'm gonna do this. 5 minutes. And I went, and I'm gonna kick ass. And I'm gonna start. I'm gonna get together a plan. And I start. And I think I saw that in. It might have been. It might have been April of 2015, maybe like late March, April of 2015, and by July 4th, I'd launched. I said, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put together. Got my audio stuff done. Got a new PC. Got my stuff here. Got my monitors met up. Got to get my lighting. I did all kinds of research, and I was up and running on July 4th because I had like an off day or whatever. And I said, all right, we're doing this.
Yeah, you started off with a very good setup from the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you go through the phase of not knowing what you're doing, so you have small mistakes on your stream. I think you've always had the good audio, good microphone, good camera. Your cam bot, well, you use green screen, right? But,
yeah.
A lot of
MC can see my green screen. Yeah. You guys can't.
Yeah. You see a lot of streamers who come up over the years, and they have. There's like a gap between their cam box and their cam, and it's like you can see the game behind the cam box and stuff. Small little things like that. I don't think you've ever had that problem, but it's because you did your research.
Yeah.
You were researching for a few months. Where did you do your research though, so that new streamers who might have these small little issues,
YouTube
can fix them? YouTube,
1000%. I just said how to use OBS, and then now that I knew about Twitch, I looked around at. I just went to highest channels. What are they doing, right? I did. What are the most popular channels doing? What do they have? And then I would see some with a green screen. I would see most of them have a green screen. Many of them do not, or some of them don't. And I thought, okay, green screen. What does that do? And then I said, OBS, how to do chroma key. And then that was okay. Then I went, okay, you need a green screen. Okay, good. But then it started talking about lighting, and lighting and shadows are the enemy of green screen, right? Because that's how you do it. So it's okay. Well, shit, I need some lighting, and so then I had to do the thing, right?
What did you get? What lights do you have?
Always, all of my questions, I went to YouTube, and then I said, okay, well, then I went to Amazon, and I said, okay, I need a green screen, and then okay, if I get a green screen. What do I need to do with it? So I either need to hang it up every time, which I used to, and then I said, well, I can paint the wall, which Fenced In. You remember Fenced In did?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Fenced In just freaking painted the wall, and I thought, well, he's like, I'm dedicated to this, so it's a can of paint. Or it's just a wall. Yeah. I can just do it.
Yeah.
Badger's done the same thing. But what I elected to do, so what I elected to do. Was I put up right behind me is just a normal wall.
Yeah.
I got a big ass curtain rod, and I hung up permanently as a curtain, and the curtain shields a wall. That's it. And I just draped the green screen over that. And that's it. And then
that covers Ash too?
Yeah. Oh, it's a double.
Same one?
Yeah. It's a double wall. Yeah, it's a big ass curtain, and it goes all the way over. And
Nice.
then I put weights on the bottom, so because I always have a fan in here, so it doesn't really blow around. The bottom of it shakes just a little bit, but you can't tell. And then I said, okay, there's my screen. Now I got to do a lighting profile. I did that, right?
Yeah.
And my emotes, I've got some emotes. The take emote, that's a clapper board that you see in chat. So MC, you'll like this one. It is this one. So that is, if you zoom in on it, that is a clapper board like in the movies. Take 1, take 2, take 3. And it is, the suffix is take. And that is because I do a recording of a video on Twitter, and it's just an intro of what we're going to do today. And I take maybe 60 seconds, and I record it, and I edit it, and I post on Twitter live. Hey, Twitter, thank you very much for being here, man. We're going to have a great day for you. We're going to do some Terraria with Ash. Then right after we do that, we're going to go right into Enough About You with our special guest today, MCGamesDotNet, something you don't want to miss. We're going to have a lot of fun today, and we're going to kick off our week right. See you there. And then I stop the recording, and then I edit it in Adobe that fast. And if I screw up, then the chat starts spamming take 1, take 2, take 3, and the more screw ups I get, like they dogpile on my ass, right? And so if I can't get my act together, they start dogpiling me, and take 1, take 14, can't get it right, and then the spam just keeps going, right? It's very fun.
That would be a very good emo as well for clips. Like if a bunch of people in chat saw something that they like, and they just all spam it, and it's like, oh, someone has to clip this, or you can clip it yourself.
That's exactly right. Take a clip. It's all of that sort of thing. It's like just for the movies, right? Then the other my other one more recent. So all of them have a meaning. Like there's only very few of them are generic of my emotes. Most of them have a thing. This one is to commemorate my speedrun time. It's my 9th place trophy.
Yeah.
If you remember the thing from Meet the Fockers, where he says, I didn't know they made 9th place trophies. Oh, Jack, they got them all the way up to 10th place, right? So,
oh my God.
So yeah. So I got and I spent a long time being grinding and being the 9th best speedrunner in Factorio. So I have a 9th place trophy, right? Those are my last two ones. I will show you my Stream Deck. Okay, we'll ask you about this. So do you use a Stream Deck for yours?
Not yet. That's my next upgrade.
Bro, they are so proud of those things. They are expensive. They don't need to be expensive. Okay.
No, they don't.
They don't. They don't need to be that expensive. I love the idea of a Stream Deck, a one-shot thing, right? This is my Stream Deck. It's my phone. They have an app for like $1 a month that I've been paying, and it's been working. That's it. That's my Stream Deck. And so here's the thing: is everybody else that says they say, oh yeah, MVP. Whoever has a Stream Deck, MVP has to be. You got to have one of these. It's so quick, etc. Otherwise, I have a window over here that I have all my sound drops in. But this is my go-to. It's so much quicker.
Yeah.
So I would. Oh, hang on. Just popped up. Where's my mouse? I've lost my mouse. Sorry, iTunes popped up. Okay, there you go. So. Show the camera? No, I cannot show the camera from that question there. Yeah, wrecked. Oh, great. We'll write a review.
Well,
no, that's my Stream Deck. When I come in, that's my Stream Deck when I use it. And I've got a couple of menus in there, and it functions just like the physical one. The smaller one.
Questions. Real quick before you tell me the smaller one. What do you do when someone calls you, or if you have a text, and how bad is the battery consumption on that?
Number one, always plugged in.
Okay.
Number two, no one ever calls me. They text me, but I don't. I usually do anything. And if I ever get a call, this is my work one, and that's my personal one.
Okay,
So if I get a call, it's always on my work one. Right? That's how I do it. Right. So the other one, and on occasion, I can just kind of move the windows around and do it. I've got a little stand that I put it on. I don't know if I can show you this. You can bring it all the way over here. It's a little tripod. It's a selfie stick / tripod that I sit up on it. Yeah. That's how I hold it.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah. But okay, so the one I want to pay, there's 3 sizes of those Elgato Stream Decks. There's the one with 6 buttons. It's too small. The medium one, and then there's the giant. Okay?
Yeah.
I want the medium one
Me
for
too.
the small one's price. And then I'm sold. That's it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
You could always try and ask Elgato for sponsorship. I mean, your channel is probably it has a lot going for it.
I've met those guys at all the PAXs. And I shake their hand every time. Hey man, how you doing? You got a streaming booth? Nope.
That's a pity. I mean,
I would love to do that. They sponsor big channels. I mean, big, thousand average concurrence type of channels, etc.
Yeah, you'll be there soon with Factorio. I mean, you are the top.
All right, we got 1.0 coming up, the 1.0 release. So that should be good. I'm doing a bunch of good stuff for that. So so tell me about your transition into Rocket League, because
Rocket League,
you started playing Rocket League and practicing and grinding and getting good at it, and now like you're a badass player. You know how to do some cool shit, and you're good. And because I sit there and watch it, I'm going, God damn this. And here's the funny part is I'll sit in your chat and I'll just go, that was the most amazing move ever. And you have no thoughts about it. You have zero reaction, zero thoughts about the amazing move you just did. And I'm in my seat going, what the fuck?
Oh my god. Rocket League for me started. I was playing Agario, as you know.
Yep. I do. I remember those days very well, right?
Those days were really good.
Uh-huh.
And then I decided to move away from Agario, so I spent a summer playing other games. I was trying to break into variety, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I was trying to break into variety, and then I came across Agario, and not Agario, Rocket League.
Right.
And because I didn't really know what I was doing with variety, I decided, you know what, let's pick this game and see what we could do. So at the beginning, it was fine. Everyone was the same level. We were all pretty poor at the game, and then I kept streaming it, and I spent 8 hours a day, 5 days a week streaming Rocket League for an entire summer.
Yep.
It was like a summer camp of Rocket League, and that's when I started to get better at the game. And then I stopped playing Rocket League all the time after September. I went back to try and variety again, but I always had Rocket League as part of my rotation for video games.
Yep.
Or for streaming games. And when it comes to the click moment, I think would have happened around the time that I had front page time on Twitch. I don't know if you remember, we did the front page promotion, and that got me a lot of people in. A lot of them are here today because we were at the top of Rocket League, and we were showing off what we knew about the game at that stage. In front of people on the front page. So if I didn't do a summer of Rocket League before that, then I don't think there would have been the same level. You know, if I was a new player, there wouldn't have been the same level of retention. And the reason there's a couple of things I have to say. First of all, yes, I agree that I'm very used to all the fancy stuff that we do.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to react to everything unless it's absolutely new that I haven't done before. But the second thing is, when you get to the point that we're at in Rocket League, it's so much fun because for over 1,000 to 2,000 hours previous, you are trying to learn how to do all that.
Yep.
And you're trying to learn how to do the fancy things without failing. And now, when you can finally do it, you're up in the air, you're trying new things, you're always trying to push yourself to the next level again, and it's it's very addicting to be able to do all of those fancy flicks and tricks with your friends, and try to do the next flick or try to do the next trick, and then you can react to those. So I don't know if you noticed, we are on a team at the moment. It's called MLC Esports. It's a Rocket League based team. They took us on, and regularly they'll post our clips on Twitter. And we're at a stage at the moment where Rocket League has been something that we're able to make clips for Instagram, even for TikTok and for Twitter, simply because we're actually at a level now where we can do all the fancy stuff. And the only thing I don't like about Rocket League, I don't know if you've noticed this, Rocket League is Twitch's bitrate is not good enough for Rocket League. It doesn't come up. I like to have a very clean looking stream, like your stream, for example. But Rocket League doesn't allow that because 6K bitrate isn't enough. We need at least 8. So the camera can get blurry sometimes and the game can get blurry. So that is one reason why I don't always play Rocket League, because I would like to have a clear image or a game where I can have very high quality, and hopefully someday Twitch will allow us to have 8K bitrate.
Oh wow! I didn't know it. I never would have known as a Rocket League amateur. I would not have known. This is I've linked up here. Let's display this here. I linked up here Steam charts. Look at the Rocket League average. Not a bad game to choose at all. I mean, look at the amount of look at the growth that it's had. So back here, average was 57K, and then there might have been some tournaments up here, big spikes in March, and February up to 100K. Like that's insane. Fake.
There's only 2 games on Steam at the moment that have what is it again? It's like for like growth from season to season. We're talking about November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, and we're currently in the April, May, June. Rocket League and Rainbow Six are the only 2 games that have grown season on season that have been out for longer than 2 years. 2 games. Like Fortnite, for example, has lost players. Minecraft isn't really an online game, so you can't really count that, but I'm pretty sure they have stable. But Rocket League has grown exponentially. There was 300,000 people online at one stage during the pandemic, and that was happening every single day. I mean, Terraria did it. They had millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people, but they didn't get to do that for an entire 2 months. Rocket League did. So it's a really fast-growing game, I have to say.
Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna show the Factorio combined. Compare that with Factorio and its average. It is 1/5 of the Rocket League numbers.
But 2 things: your game isn't out yet, 1.0, and
1.0.
The Twitch section is not what you call it. It's not as competitive, and I think Rocket League is a little bit too competitive. Too many streamers are playing Rocket League to stick with that game all the time. When 1.0 comes out, how many years has Factorio been in?
It's in 6 right now, so I think it's going to cross its 7th, before it hits.
Wow, that's going to be huge. That's going to be bigger than 1.4, I think.
Yes. Well, I don't know about that. Hey, Reckoning, thank you very much for gifting a sub to this channel. We've got an emote as an affiliate. It's 51%, because when you're 51% sure, you're pretty sure about something.
I'm pretty sure you should get this channel partnered as well, by the way.
So I've already sent emails. I got some information on that.
Cool.
So here's what I'm doing to. Factorio's been out. It's been an early release. It had its 5-year anniversary about a year and a half ago. They had a big party in Czech Republic. Thank you very much, Reckoning. Appreciate it, man. Had its 5-year anniversary 5 years ago. Oh yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, Doc. Yeah, Doc, spreading the love. Appreciate it. For those of you who are on the MP3, we're on Twitch, and they're spreading some sub love from Reckoning and Doc Holiday. Sub gifting. How about that? Thank you very much, man. Originally, as until Friday. So MC, this is something you'll like that I'm doing. You may already know, but on Friday, the Factorio devs release a. Oh yeah, here Doc hit it. Thank you very much, man. 3 subs, appreciate it, man. What's up, Shady? On Friday, every Friday, they release a roadmap update. It's called Friday Facts, Factorio Friday Facts, every Friday, and they're on number 349. So what I do is I go live on Twitch, and I read and comment upon the developer notes, and I record that, and I throw it out there on YouTube. I do a live recording, and we all talk about it, we unpack it. And then I go over to, I do a second video, I stop record, and I hit record again, and we go over to Reddit. And there's a weekly question thread of new players who ask questions about Factorio. And I record all those, and I chapterize them. If there's a common one, I'll even do a third video and make a tutorial of it. And all that goes out on YouTube, and I do it live. And I have good interaction from chat and all that other business, right?
I've seen your Fridays. That's a really nice routine that you have.
It's good, man. It's been good. I've done my YouTube videos are not going crazy. They're not like a Badger video, but they a Badger Terraria video, but they're getting clicks, and I get comments on them, and I get notes about them, all kinds of good stuff. I'm at least doing it, right?
Yeah.
They're out there, and I'm doing the thing. I'm getting the search engine traffic. Plus, it's an easy Friday night because I have a great time doing it, and everybody learns something. Speaking about teaching people how to play a video game that you have expertise in, that is so great. I make it new player night. So, like new players, if you have a question, we're not doing something advanced or anything. If you have a new player question, come ask, because chat will help you out. I'll help you out, and I'll like put whatever I'm doing aside, and we'll go into sandbox mode, and I'll show it. I'll take 5-10 minutes, and we'll show and get those questions answered. And then inevitably, there'll be someone who has like 3,000 hours in the game, and they'll go, I had no idea. Oh, that's awesome. I had no idea. That's the coolest thing. I had no idea, right?
Excellent.
Yeah, and inevitably, I learned something. Anyway, so speaking of the release date, so originally, the release date was September 25th. And this Friday, the Factorio guys pulled the date in. It's now August. They've moved the release date up. What?
I don't see that very often.
Never.
Yeah.
Like no one ever. They always push it out. They always push it out. Factorio guys, they said screw that. What ended up happening was, Cyberpunk 2077 pushed theirs out to that same weekend. And so Factorio is like, well, we either got to go before or push ours out afterwards because, so MC, do you remember whatever other movie was released the same weekend that the Avengers Endgame was released?
Oh,
Nope.
I remember there was a famous one that bombed, but it was a good movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't remember because the Avengers was on that weekend, right? So they don't want to be competing with Cyberpunk that weekend. So they said, all right, we're out of there. We're either going to move it after or we're going to move it before. And they're going, okay, well, is the game ready? And they're like, yeah, we've de-scoped enough. It's ready to go. So 1.0 is coming forward in time. So August. It's going to be great. So I'm doubled down on YouTube videos. I'm actually have a plan to return to speedrunning, which is probably going to start this week, so that I can be on top of those leaderboards and we go talk about speedruns. All that.
Will you ask for early access?
They will not. Yes, but they're not gonna. They're not gonna give it out.
Okay.
It's gonna go. It's gonna go everywhere. No one gets early access from their releases. In fact, if you're looking at these pictures, these are likely these might have been biter battles at the same time, or they might have been some dev tests, or they might be version 18 release date. It was probably we had a version release that did this in February, I think. I don't know what this one was, but that's those are some watermark numbers. But anyway, those are the high watermark numbers. I'm not sure what those coincide to. It might be just pandemic related, where everybody got all right, everybody go in or something, or they might have hit the news, or I don't know what it was, but that's lots of people playing on Steam. So
Very cool.
So we're all of us in the Factorio space are prepping for it. We're trying to kind of jockey ourselves in position to be, way we can take advantage of that because 1.0 is going to be. It's always a big day for release day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm even considering on my other job, I'm probably going to take a week off.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great idea.
I mean, what else am I going to... Right? What else am I going to do? There's my job. We have to burn down some vacation anyway.
Yeah.
So I may as well move my days to where I can kind of be ready and get her done.
Best of luck. I can't wait to see how good the Factorio section is going to be. I love new game releases and I love updates because I love to see the lotto to see who gets growth. From and where are these people that we didn't even know are coming from,
right?
And all of a sudden that they have a career ahead of them, or they have a great stream ahead of them.
Yep.
And
And what I want to establish is my number one goal with all of this is if you are a new player, you can come here for help. Ask your questions. Yeah, I don't mind it. Everybody else in Factorio space, I'm sure you could ask their questions and they'll answer you, but they don't advertise of. I am your one-stop shop for anything you need new. In fact, I dedicate one night per week for just new player stuff. That's it. That is all.
Very good shtick.
Like pull out all the stops. I'm doing nothing else but answering your questions. And that's what we're going to do. And I've got tons of content I can bring forward and all of that other stuff. So if you have a new player question, and it's not like they're the best streamers that do this are the speedrunners, and I'm a 9th place speedrunner.
You got your trophy.
Yeah, I got my trophy. I may be the 9th best speedrunner on planet Earth, so I'm not going to beat them in that space. I'm not going to beat them straight up. They're just better, and they're going to kick my ass. But you know what? I can sit next to them, and I can be more outgoing, more inviting. And more, hey, if you are a new player, you can come here. We'll unpack all your questions. More welcoming, right? And what this started from was this is funny, MC. I went to a panel on PAX East. Okay, do you remember this? Do you remember seeing this? I remember me telling the story. PAX East. Badger said, "Hey, we're going to this panel, and it's called gatekeeping." And I went, "What kind of bull crap, feel good pussy shit am I going to listen to on this thing?" Because there's no gates, right? We're in America. We have the internet. Like, what is there a gate? There's no barriers to entry for just about anything anymore, right? So I had the shittiest attitude ever about this panel. And Badger says, "I'm going to this panel. We should go." And I'm like, okay, I'm about ready to get an hour worth of feelings. And all this other bullcrap.
Oh,
And I thought, and it started out pretty touchy-feely, and I'm like, this is going to be some bullshit here. And then suddenly it turns to where they said, the analogy they gave was somebody wanted to join a Harry Potter fan club. And their first day in the fan club, someone who talked to them started quizzing them on Harry Potter fan trivia, and like, are you really a fan if you don't know the derivative of each Horcrux? And like, not welcoming them in. And they said that's gatekeeping, right? Because you're kind of gatekeeping of something like this technical whatever. We started off saying you're gatekeeping because you're a different race, or you're not a man, or whatever. I was like, all of those are out the window. Like, we're in such progressive society, you can't. There's always going to be assholes. So don't confuse assholes for racism, or don't confuse assholes for sexism. There's just assholes or assholes. Like, it happens, okay? And you can get by them. You just keep going. Look, you just keep going, right? So we started out that way, and then they tell me that analogy about Harry Potter fan club, and I went, holy crap. The Factorio space has a huge issue with that because it's a learning curve. And we were always trying to like one up each other with your efficient builds and all of this, and I'm faster and I'm better and I'm more efficient. And I went, God damn, they're so right. And I immediately lost all of my ego about that whole thing. And I started, I was on my phone, I was taking notes. I could not write fast enough. I'm going to change the way I'm doing stuff. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to dedicate a night a week. We're going to try it. I don't care what I'm going to do. And I just went to bed that night, and I was dreaming about stuff I was going to do. And I said, and here's what I think. I needed to undo. I need to welcome new players in. I needed to get a bigger presence on YouTube, and I needed to get a bigger presence on Reddit. What do I do? And so then I put together a plan for a new player night of that's what we're going to do, right? We're going to answer new questions. We're going to do a Factorio deal. We're going to record it all for YouTube. It's going to be out there. I'm going to knock out all 3 of them, and here we go. And I came out of that I was such a shitty attitude about this seminar. I came out of there ready to run through a wall. Like I'm going, Badger, I'm gonna crush this place. I'm gonna you ain't never gonna see it. We're gonna be huge. We're coming. We're going to the top of Twitch with this shit. I'm gonna be front page. And here we go. I'm gonna be the new player king for Factorio. That's it. I can do that better than anybody in this space. And that's what we're gonna do. And I came out of there just like freaking fired up. Right? It was so great.
Isn't that always the way, though, when you feel like something is going to be either boring or a snooze fest, and then you come out fired up and ready?
To my own shame, I usually have the shittiest attitude about some of the stuff that turns out the best. Like, that's to my shame, right? I'm saying that as a point of pride. That is shameful behavior on my part. It's shitty attitude. And I come out of there just going, let's do it. Let's go. And I went up and back before the pandemic was there, I shook everybody's hand on the panel. Said, "Thank you very much. You've inspired me to blow open those gates." And I'm going to blow open those gates of the stuff that I've been gatekeeping for all this time. I'm going to change when I get home. We are going to do something different. And they went, "Holy shit! Who's this guy? Like, don't quit hugging me, you know?" Great, buddy. Yeah, let's ease up on the hugging, you know. So,
hey, don't be kissing me.
Yeah. Hey, there's a pandemic on. Let's do that.
What are you, Italian?
Yeah.
You asshole.
Are you from Spain? No hugging. Yeah. All right.
Gosh.
Well, last parting thoughts. What do you got? Any other stories we got? We probably got time for one more segment. Otherwise, anything else you wanted to hit before we go?
Well, I've got one question for you. It's a gaming-related question. You played Oxygen Not Included. Did you finish the content that they provided, or did you? Your stream was doing very well with that game, and I'm wondering why didn't you stay with it, even though Factorio is doing, of course, much better than Oxygen Not Included?
Red Dead Redemption dropped.
Oh,
that was it.
Okay,
that was it. And I got obsessed about Red Dead Redemption, and I lost obsession about Oxygen Not Included. That was the only reason. Nothing to say about Oxygen Not Included. Nothing bad to say about it. Oxygen Not Included is amazing game. It is so well done. Clay does such a great job with it. It's got a great community. They were welcoming me in. Like, I was getting good numbers. I was maybe 8 to 10% lower, which for switching a game that's
huge.
That's huge. I'll take those any day. If you switch games. Right?
I think Terraria will do that for you as well, and of course Factorio. So there's only 3 games out there at the moment that you found that will bring in those numbers, right?
Right.
And I'm sure there's other games out there as well, and you will find them. But Oni is a gem. It's a gem for you.
Yeah, it was great.
And then you didn't finish it, right? You didn't
never launched
see
the rocket.
Game.
Never launched the rocket.
Okay.
Never got there. Oxygen Not Included was so great. The only thing that happened was Red Dead launched, and me and my buddies went nuts on it, and that just captured my mind. So all the off-air work I was doing on Oni went to Red Dead and all of that. And by the way, MC, I started to stream Red Dead and do some stuff on it. It's not really ready yet, but there were times where I was number 1 or number 2 streaming Rockstar's newest game, Red Dead Redemption.
No way. That is huge.
Yes.
And you're not doing it now. Is there
No.
any reason why did you finish it? Or?
It didn't. It's not ready. The audience isn't there. It was there on
right,
initially
yeah.
released. The audience went way down. In terms,
Yeah,
Twitch
yeah.
audience went way down.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
the first say month of Red Dead was 10,000 people streaming it, 10,000 viewers, all of that. Now the average. I mean, you can go look at it now. It was giant on its first month. Now it's a little more than Factorio, I would say.
It's very hard to watch that game because if you miss something, then you've missed the key point.
Right.
But when you're not, when you are paying attention, it's mostly just walking around.
Right.
So it's very hard to get the right moment to watch that game.
So the weekends are different because there's a couple weekend. It's U.S. time.
Yeah. It's prime time now
Weeknights
for you.
U.S. time weeknights is where I need to hit. And I could start up, and I could be number 1 or number 2 in the space. But I could do that for Factorio too. On weekend early, that's Europe and U.S. There's a lot more. Like there's a couple of viewers. If you're looking at the browse page right now, top one is 1100. Top number 2 is 900. Number 3 is 750. And right about my space would take me around number 10 or so in the space.
Is Cardboard Cowboy on by any chance?
Cardboard Cowboy?
Did you see him?
I do not see him. I put the link in the chat.
Okay.
If you want to check it out.
You ever
Duck
heard of him?
Sauce number 1. No, I have not heard him.
He's cool. If you ever want to check
Good
out
stuff.
someone who he draws like he has say an overlay for everything. I'd say he has over 1,000 overlays.
Wow.
And he switches around them out throughout his stream, and every one of them is him made out of cardboard. It's really really well done, and he puts so much effort into his stream.
Oh,
But he
neato.
mostly plays Red Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, but there you go. 6.2K viewers. That's not the mainstay. It's a weekend, but I would be 10th in the space. But there were times where I would be number 1 or 2 in the space, and I did pretty good. And I thought, well, here we go. It's me and Ash, right? I could go play with me and Ash. We're number 1 on Rockstar. Here we go. And then if you go back and look, there's lots of people playing the game, but not a ton of people watching the game midweek. Right, and U.S. time evenings where I need my space. And
Speaking of Ash, by the way, Joanna and I were noticing today that he has grown up so much. Don't embarrass him if he's watching. But
no. He's. I mean, that happens if you feed kids, right? They just grow up, right? And let me tell you, he's good at streaming. Like
he really is. Yeah,
he's good at streaming.
He said to the people today who were hosting, don't forget, guys, we have Enough About You podcast after today's broadcast.
He's good at what he does,
and
man.
It's like, whew.
Yep, he's good at what he does. So my Red Dead time took over, and I thought, well, I'm going to do this. And then I think something happened with a couple things. New Player Night went over on PAX East, and then Red Dead didn't really pan out for me super well. I mean, I guess I could, but what I'm finding is the people who are streaming Red Dead, they're not going there. They're brought there by they're brought there, right?
Yeah. I see that.
Whereas, whereas someone with Factorio, they're there for Factorio and they'll watch whoever is in the space. It's the opposite. So there's let me see if I can say this right. Either you're getting views from the browse page or you're bringing people to the browse page, right? And this by the way, is the browse
the
page.
Big communities, they
So-
bring their own audiences, right?
Right. And so Factorio is I'm getting views from the browse page. Red Dead, I'm bringing people to the browse page, right? I'm not getting a ton of new players, right? But Factorio, I am. Terraria, I am, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Terraria is big right now, so you are getting new people in, and of course, Factorio, that's your home, that's your bread and butter.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. But that's the only thing. And Red Dead was so much fun. It's so much fun. It captured all of my off-air playtime and off-air imagination about all my stuff. And then I just said, you know what? I came out of there going, look, Factorio's releasing later on this year. Terraria is releasing later on this year. I'm gonna dig into Factorio because it's super fun. I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna do New Player Night. I'm gonna get myself in there. I'm gonna expand on YouTube. When Terraria releases, I'm gonna bring Ash back, and we're gonna do some streams like that, and we're gonna make some traction there. But then for the last part of the year, it's going to be all Factorio all day, so that we can maybe hit a home run and take full advantage of 1.0. Right? That's what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
That'd be
strategy.
great.
So
Don't
what
tell
about
too many people you're started now?
Yeah. So that's the story on that's the story on Auction Not Included, was that there's no other really good reason other than freaking Red Dead was amazing, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about? Do you have any? What is your next step for Rocket League? What is your? So I just told you my plans to try and break on through to the next level is leverage 1.0, leverage YouTube and Reddit. What about yours? What do you got? What are you thinking about? At least, what do you got going on next?
There's so much. I think it's time that I started hosting Rocket League tournaments. A couple of those. I think kind of like how you host Factorio and you commentate. I would host Rocket League and commentate. It wouldn't be anything professional. It would just be a bit of fun. But of course, the thing about my channel at the moment is Rocket League is mostly for the weekends, and then I try to mix it up throughout the weekdays.
Good.
And I don't really have any new titles coming up. I'm going to finish my Terraria playthrough.
Yep.
And then I'm going to do a Starbound playthrough to compare the two games, because I don't know about you, but I feel like there's only 1, 2, or maybe 3 games like Terraria. It's a very unique genre of sandbox, and sandbox MMO without the MMO part.
Yep.
Or maybe a sandbox RPG, we could call it that.
Yeah.
Where you actually have to grind for rare items to make your character stronger, and there's no other game that you can do that that isn't online. I mean, so I'm going to try Starbound. I'm going to see how that compares. And then there is a couple of smaller games that are coming out recently, or coming out in the next few months. Polybridge 2, for example. I don't know if you're interested in Polybridge, but I'm going to try out that. I'm going to try out a new card game, One Step from Eden. So I'm putting a lot of variety around Rocket League. And then in terms of Rocket League itself, on stream and off stream, just try to get better. Try to hit the shots. And I know I'm going to be using a lot of jargon here, so I don't want to. I want you to not understand a word that I'm saying, but also think to yourself, wow, that sounds really cool. So I'm currently trying to do a particular shot. It's called a ceiling skip, flip reset, wall to air triple, or not wall to air dribble, double tap shot. So, so it's ceiling skip, flip reset, flip cancel, double tap. I'm trying to hit that, and as soon as I do, I'm actually going to send you a copy of the clip if I ever do it live on stream.
Okay.
And just to see if you can see what went into it. It takes a lot of work to get this right, I could tell you. And Joanna, of course, will have a special name for it, because Joanna makes all the clips for the Rocket League content. Not all of them, but most of them. And Joanna doesn't know the jargon used to name the Rocket League moves that we do, so she just calls it the upside down bippity boop doopy doop. And people can recognize a Joanna clip just from the name of the clip. It's so funny. The flippity floppity boopity boop.
Okay.
So yeah, ceiling skip, flip reset, flip cancel, double tap. That's what we're looking for.
Let's watch this clip here. So MC, you'll see it here in just a second. It looks like ceiling, flip cancel. It looks like a double tap. I think this might be it. Ceiling shot, double touch, flip reset. So you tell me if this is it.
That is it, except mine will hopefully be above the crossbar. His was on the right. Who is this?
Reddit. I put that into Reddit.
Okay.
It says Hunter Mac 23. I just put that. Put that into Google. This came up on Reddit, so I checked out a topic, and this is it. I don't know.
That is pretty much what I'm gonna do. There's one small difference, and that's two small differences. I'm gonna get
top of the crossbar
flip reset before it hits the wall, which he didn't do, and then I'm going to go for top of the crossbar. So it's a sick shot, though. That's an amazing shot.
Yeah.
My one's a bit more complicated. Let me see if I can find you a clip of it. I don't know. It's very hard to find these because usually when a streamer or a YouTuber clips them, they make it part of an entire montage.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
look at what we did. Look at what we did in Game 4, right? These are all the cool shots we had in Game 4, and it was just one of several, right?
Yeah, exactly. Look at all these shots that we did, and what a lot of Rocket League YouTubers do is they tend to play against really poor people on purpose, just so that they
so you can run up the score and get and do your shots. Yeah.
So we tried to do these without.
That happens in jiu-jitsu too.
Really?
Yes.
They show off with like amateur players or whatever, yeah?
Yeah. I get my ass thrown around all the time when I have a purple belt go, hey, come here. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I can't
this
find
isn't going to work well.
I'll get it I'll get that shot eventually.
All right. Well, that's a pretty close one, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Like, it's a once in a... unless I decide, or unless I play the game for many, many more hours, it's probably going to be a once in a year shot, you know, and then maybe then I can start to do them more regularly. Once I get
that's a good one. Oh man,
so I can't wait to show you that clip when I do
That'd be great, man. Yeah. So when I'm in your chat and you're playing Rocket League, I'm losing my mind at all these shots because. There are, by the way, there are clips that exist of me playing Rocket League.
I've seen your streams and they were a lot of fun.
Oh god dang! They were. Okay. I am awful at Rocket League. I laughed harder. I laughed so hard at those streams. I remember it being me and Badger and Wolf. This was probably 2016, and. Like, we were all just getting drunk and playing Rocket League on stream and just having a
I still remember
ball,
it.
Man.
I still remember it. The three of you guys were using, you didn't have ball cam on, so the ball would just, like, roll right next to you, and you'd still drive forward. Oh, it was so funny.
Oh, man.
But that was why it was so funny.
Yeah. There's one great one. It's called Boosting Away.
Oh, yes. I remember this one. In the corner. Yeah.
Yeah, it came right to me, and let me see if I can find it. I want to show you guys this. This is hilarious. It's from my channel. Let's see, YouTube Studio. Search across your channel. Boosting Away. I'm so glad. By the way, this is highlight. There it is. Rocket 003 Boosting Away. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun.
One thing I love about that clip is you laughing in the background so crazily, like it's your belly laugh.
Oh man, that's so much fun.
You had so much fun.
Yep. Okay.
Are you bringing it up on screen?
I'm working on it here.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave this over here. So, and I just like Rocket League can be very fun with friends, and people obviously take it very seriously as well. I try not to take it too serious. I try to have as much fun as I can.
Oh goodness.
Best way to play it.
And I think I was drinking also.
Yeah. Okay. Bit of whiskey.
I was drinking off air. So what I would do is I would move my face off air. I would move my face off air and sit because I didn't know. I mean, I was super new at Twitch. I didn't know if it was okay to drink on. But I mean, who's watching me, right? I'm just I'm unpartnered, probably 4 viewers, max, ever.
This was when you were 4 viewers. No way.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
I'd say this clip has a lot of views, doesn't it?
Oh my goodness. I'm still trying to. I don't know. I'm still trying to find.
I'll tell you who's an expert at finding clips.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, you found it. All right.
Oh, god damn. Okay, so here. All right. So here we go. I don't think we need to set this up at all. And let me grab it at time. So I'll put this in there, and you can start at the same time, so you can see and hear this. and it's me and Badger and Wolf. So let's switch this over. And here, I'm going to start it so you can start on yours if you want to. You want to pull that up real quick? And I'll
We're
give you
starting at 6:31, are
Well,
we?
I'll go 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay. So you ready?
Okay, let me do the quality, and I have it ready.
It's
Go.
probably the all right. 3, 2, 1, and start. Do you see that move where I flipped upside down? So I'm laughing.
God darn
Look at your face.
Oh, man.
You're so happy.
Watch this, and I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna get the ball.
You're on it. You're on it. You got it. I believe in you.
Nope.
No.
No.
I boosted away.
Boom! Apparently that was a pull shot. I hit him.
You want to here? Watch. Here comes the belief.
Now watch the
Here
replay.
comes- Woo!
Tries away.
Drives away.
The boost too.
You held the
He's
boost down
boosting
so
the
long
opposite.
that
I
your car
boosted
did a
away.
U-turn in the air.
I
yeah.
boosted away.
Boosted
Wait for the
correct.
ball.
Now watch. I'm laughing so hard after this.
What? Oh my
Your
god.
I laughed
eyes are
so
red.
hard.
Oh my God.
I can't control my. I can't
Oh, that
see.
aerial
I'm
block.
on it.
I can't see. I'm laughing so
Stinky
hard.
Pete is here. Stinky Pete has some fear.
I can't even drive. I'm in the corner. I'm laughing so hard. I
Oh,
can't
not my
drive.
house.
Now watch. Now watch this. Now watch. I'm still
We got
laughing.
three goal saves. This,
Still laughing.
and it's
Still
going.
laughing. I can't even. I'm not even
Points.
looking at the screen.
Go for it. It's so sick. Good God, clap.
And I score. Highlight.
Highlight it.
Hey.
Next pitch,
Oh
more highlight
my
it.
God.
And then I
Can
score.
actually-
Can I get a mod to
That's
highlight that,
like
part
me
of the
actually
screen right
when
here?
I'm looking at the
Gotta get
chat.
that
over there.
It's
highlight.
like a blind.
Yeah. So it was the greatest goal ever. I go from the most disastrous play where I boost away from the ball, right? And then I'm laughing so hard. I'm just like I can't even see my eyes. My eyes are full of tears. I can't even focus. My hands are not even on the keyboard. On both of them on the keyboard. I'm not even running the controls. And then I just happen to be right place, right time, and I knock it in and score. I was like, ah!
Oh my God.
That is
What do
why
you-
that is called
the
boosting
3D?
away. And there you go.
Yeah, you held down the boost so much that you actually ended up clipping the side of the wall and then turning around
Yep.
and boosted away from the ball. It was hilarious.
Called boosting away. That was the greatest. Yep, January 16th, 2016. There you go. I'd been streaming for maybe 6 months. I guess it
6
would be
months.
7 months right there. There you
I
go.
haven't seen Wolf in a long time. My God, I forgot about.
I
Wolf
hit him
in a
up.
way.
I hit him up every once in a while. He's doing good. He's
Yeah.
he's doing all right. We're gonna play some video games here over the
Good.
holidays. So
Good.
good stuff. All right. Well, what do you got coming up this week? What can we look forward to this week?
Gonna hopefully continue. Well, not hopefully. We're gonna continue our Terraria playthrough. I don't think we're gonna finish it this week. We're gonna be bringing in more Space Haven, the game that you saw me playing yesterday, and we're gonna try our best to finish Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So that's our story game for the week.
Awesome. Oh, yeah, do
And-
story game.
yeah.
That's right. Good
Those
stuff.
are our three main focuses, I think. Yeah.
All right. Well, for me, I've got my. So tomorrow, I'm probably gonna. I may even do some more Terraria. Keep going with that. We're having some good stuff. Good stuff there. Tuesday is my normal interaction day. So your bits, subs, and follows and all that drop nukes on my base. So
wow.
yeah, it sucks. Then I usually take a day off. I'm off on Wednesdays, and then Thursday is Factorio. Thursday is probably going to start Factorio speed runs. Friday is new player night, where we do the Reddit and the YouTube, and then probably Saturday, Sunday we're going to do some more Terraria until we finish our playthrough. Ash and I are making some good progress on our way through, and then we'll do it all again. But I'm going to start doing some speed runs. Start back into speed running probably this week, or if at the latest it'll be next week, so that I can get back in practice and build up to a nice crescendo for 1.0. So that is the plan, man.
And best of luck, and stay in contact. I want to know how you're getting ready for 1.0.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's just to make sure I'm present and make sure I'm live, so that when people go search up for Factorio, they find the word Factorio, and they find how do I, and they find Clowntown. Like that's what I want to do. Is how do I
Get
do
your name
X?
integrated there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. So, all right. Well, that'll be our show for today. Thank you very much for being here, everybody from chat. Thank you very much for the subs and the follows and all of that business. You can find MCGamesDotNet, Twitch.tv/MCGames.net. He's one of my longtime buddies. MC, thank you for being here and partnering with me on the show. Great conversation today. That's all I want to do is have these fun conversations where you exchange information. I want to do the same thing here as if you and I were in a cafe shooting the bull, and this is what I want to do here, right? Is just hang out and crack wise, crack stories, make each other laugh, and share some good ideas. That's what we want to do.
Excellent.
And you can find me, Twitch.tv/Clowntown. I'm live 5-6 days a week, Mr. Factorio. If you want to get into Factorio, there is no better place for you to go than someone else who knows way more about Factorio than I do. I'm kidding. You can come ask me. All right, let's sign off with Badgers. Sign off. Stay motivated, because if you're motivated, you can do anything. Stay awesome, because you know you're already awesome. And remember, go wash. We do a salute, MC. Go wash your hands. We do wash your hands.